It wasn't like that.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go that far.
No.
Oh, okay.
I would
give us some
would-
enlightenment.
Yeah, I would make him take it off when he got out of the car.
Oh,
But
okay.
he always had, slot cars or Hot Wheels in his bag and his pockets. So, I mean, he was always connected to racing. So, typically he would have cars with him. He wouldn't, be walking around the market.
Oh, you want me to walk around the market with his helmet on? Okay.
Nah,
All right.
nah,
Okay, my
nah,
bad.
nah,
My
nah.
bad.
It's all good though. I like that. But I don't think we would. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so at 4 years old, that's when you first started racing. So if you can remember, even though it's been so long ago, now that you're 15, when you won your first race, what was your excitement?
I didn't really win my first race until about 6 years old.
Oh, you
Six
had
or
to pay your
seven.
dues. Okay.
Yep. And then I was happy. I was like, okay, I won, and now I want to win more. And then, luckily, I was good enough where I started podiuming a lot more, winning a lot more, and then ever since then, I've been pretty good and pretty successful at being on the top step.
Okay, so for people like me who don't know about racing, what does podium mean? Podiuming mean?
So podium's top three. So third,
Oh,
second,
okay.
first is a podium, and if you get on the podium, people are pretty happy.
Oh, okay, that means you're winning.
Yeah.
All right, so you've had a lot of podium experience.
Yes.
So, real quick, when you first won, like when people get awards, they have like dances and stuff. Did you have like a dance or anything?
I don't know. I think I was just happy. It was more or less, I'm very inflicted with money. So I think I probably got like $20, and I was stoked. I was excited.
Oh, you got paid.
Probably.
Oh, wow.
If I win, sometimes I get lucky like that.
Oh,
From
okay.
us.
Yeah.
Oh, from you. Okay.
That's how we would incentivize him.
Oh, So who's the head of the incentivizing part? You,
Me.
mother.
I had no idea the monster that I was creating.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he was very motivated by, whether it was like a spinner thing, a toy, cash, that's what motivated him to kind of get as far as he got. And so we still do stuff, and I think we just make it a game and we make it fun. So it's just not all about kind of the racing. There's always like some carrot that's attached to it too.
Does the $20 still work if you moved up?
Nah, he didn't 7,500. He cost me. What was the last one? Cost me how much?
Last one, I think it got $300.
Oh, okay, all right. That's good.
The only thing that
well, I'm
incentivized
glad
me-
to see that inflation. You keep it with inflation.
Yeah, he do.
All right. And you know what? People don't realize a lot of times that at 15 and then has his parents doing this, there's a lot of work goes into it. Mm-hmm. And so we don't want our listeners to think, oh, he's just some little third generation spoiled brat who hasn't earned this. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about, what goes into it. The sacrifices you make, because everybody talks about, even like LeBron, I don't know, do you watch basketball?
Yeah.
So LeBron, he's going to another team this year. I'm not going to say the team, but everybody's criticizing him. But the thing you don't realize is that all that means is that all these years he's sacrificed and put in the work to stay fit for that.
Yeah.
To stay fit to do that. And so even with you, you're. I mean, I don't know if you're stand up. I want everyone to see, because right now sitting down, they can't. Everyone, you see how fit he is and all that stuff. Okay, you can sit down now. Don't be a show off.
Oh, my fault.
But it takes sacrifice and it takes work in order to stay fit. Because driving, like I said, I've never raced before, but I know just from what I did see, because I watched some of your videos, by the way, very impressive. All the stuff that you do and all that stuff. You're going around and around in this car. So you're sitting in this car. So how long are you in the car for?
Right now, it's 30 minutes race. So 30 minutes without any stops. Sometimes you have a safety car if someone crashes, but other than that, you're in 30 minutes in the car.
It's 30 minutes in the car. And so you have to be in good shape to do that. So physically, just give us like some of the stuff you do, like your training. Don't give it all to us. So we don't want your competition to hear. I know you have those special things you do. But give us like a day of your training, like when you wake up, what is it you do? And
Yeah, so I wake up, I try to get, on the simulator for an hour or two. get some driving in the morning, and then after that, like right now, we're averaging about 20 to 30 miles a day of cycling. So I cycle a lot. I try to run about 3 miles a day, run or walk, and then I just do a lot of weightlifting or running, depending swimming. I've started swimming a lot now, so.
Wow, and that's a lot. And this is how many? No, I'm not gonna even hash how many days a week because I don't want your opposition to get your schedule and all that stuff. That way they say, oh, well, I'm not doing enough. I need to increase my training. I need to increase that to compete against him. But that's a lot of work and it's a lot of sacrifice. I know because at 15, I wasn't thinking about doing all that stuff, not for a race, maybe just to look good for the girls or something. But it was nothing like what you're training for, and that's important. And so has his parents, especially you being a former driver yourself, do you give him a lot of tips on what to do, or do you say you're not doing enough? You got up late this morning. You didn't wake up till 5 o'clock. You should have been up at 4:45 or anything like that.
And I would say I used to do more. He and I were just having a conversation, actually, the three of us, in regards to, this new level of Formula 4 cars and where it truly has. This last three weeks to a month has been really inspirational to us because he's been able to do it on his own. So, yeah, in the past, I would, push him a little bit more to go to MW Athletics and Corona to do some of his workouts, or we would go to the track and test, or, go to some of the other, local spots, or, carrying them to go walk or do anything. He's on a pretty strict diet and nutritional program with Dr. G out in LA. And so I was always on him to do some of that. But this last 3 weeks, he's gotten up, he's got his own schedule, all the running, all the walking. I don't mind saying it. I mean, it's a 5-day grind in the workout program, and his eating and nutritional program is 7 days a week. He has to stay at a certain body weight that we try to keep disclosed, but he stays at a certain body weight. That's what we call his fight weight, and as long as he does that, I think that he's in condition to contend for championships.
Wow, it's like a boxer.
100%.
The audience, you saw when he stood up, how tall he is and how lean he is. But see, some people you call them skinny when they look like that, but he's lean and muscular. He probably has certain percent of body fat. I don't want to disclose that because this competition is listening, but he's in shape. And so the thing is there's a lot of work go into it, and people don't realize when they look at him and I'm sure other young people your age look and go, oh, I can do that, I can do this, but no, but there's the sacrifice that goes into it. That's the hardest part, sacrifice and discipline, and it's just so good to see that. And knowing now, especially like your father said, that you're doing it on your own now. It's not like them have to, I got to get up because I need to go get him up and all that and drag him out. They can sleep in till 6 o'clock because they know you're going to get up now on your own and do the things you need to do. But I'm just going to revert back for a minute to when you came and here he is with the baby at 2 years old. So every father wants his son to follow in his footsteps. More or less, not every, but some.
Yeah.
And so, was that the case that you want truly to become a race car driver?
No, not at all. To be honest with you, I know how hard it is to be in this industry, how much money it takes, how much dedication, sacrifice, as we all we just talked about. But no, it was really all Kara's doing. She even though she may have gotten upset when he was in my lap at 2, as everything started to progress and he got older and his passion, I think Mom also got the racing bug as well. And the first race, she's the one that signed him up. The go-karts, to this day, looking at Formula One, planning all the trips to Europe, like that's all Kara and truly. I mean, I'm there for kind of behind the scenes support, I would say, and trying to help navigate everything. But no, that's a mama and truly deal.
Wow, that's interesting, because especially considered when she first came and saw you with him in the car, has to quote you, she was pissed.
Yeah.
And so that's like a 180, a complete turnaround. So take us through that, please, Kara. on, from that point to when you first started to get him all involved in it. So how did that come about?
I think because we own the go-kart track, and to see the kids, it's it's so different from stick and ball. Like these 8-year-old, 9-year-olds are basically CEOs of their company because they're running race teams. They're talking to their mechanics, they're talking to their engineers, they're saying the tire pressures that they want. And when Truly was probably 8 or 9 years old, we started seeing manufacturers request Truly. We started seeing them wanting Truly to help develop their cars or their go karts at the time. And so I just, something in me, God, instinct, I just knew he was destined for greatness. And I knew that this was the path that he was supposed to go on. And so, when he was little, I would tell him when he was asleep, like, you're destined for greatness. Like, we just have to make good choices. And for us it was making sure as a family unit that we stood behind our son, but that we also disciplined him, that we taught him about finances, that we taught him about being a good human being. And for me, I just see that in racing. I see how it creates really good humans. And so I was just 100% on board and just trying to figure out now 100% on board and just trying to figure out really how do we pay for it, how do we get him where he wants to go.
Right, and so that's interesting because all those things you say are critical about the training him and all that stuff. Because we know what happens a lot of times when a kid or of in any business, when he has a bright future ahead, he tends to dictate to everybody else what they do, dictate to his parents, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, because they're worried about the money as opposed to the really raising a good child, a good person. And so that's important because as he gets older, and now he knows that well, I don't know, do you know, as you get older, there's a certain responsibility goes with being a leader and doing the things you do, that people are watching you, kids are watching you.
Yeah, I think I know that now as well, especially when I get older. We've worked on that. We've worked on attitude wise, mental games. It's all into racing. Racing kind of keens on all of that, where it's your mental, your attitude, the money you put into it, but also all the hard work that you put into it. That is the training, the food, getting to know people, trying things you don't like, doing things you don't want to do, but all this will pay off in the end.
Right, right. Do you have our commercial stuff ready yet? Okay, well, not yet. I just want to make sure so when we go to it. Okay, because you keep saying 3 times. See, I count in my head stuff, like when you go 1, 2, 3 times we've talked about the cost of it. And so a lot of times we want to do things, but we don't know the cost of it, be it the sacrifice that's made, what's required, just the entire package of work, dedication, effort, sacrifice, finances. And so when the other kids are playing basketball and stuff, you started off with the go-karts and the racing at such an early age. Did you ever desire to play other sports?
Yeah, I played a lot of sports. I played basketball, football, soccer, baseball, tennis. A lot of different sports, swimming, but I was never really good at them.
You
So
weren't good at them?
no,
You
no,
weren't like that person who every year, no matter what sport came up, you were like the gold jacket of it?
no. I was good enough to compete. Like
Ah.
I was able to adapt between different sports, but I was never the kid that was like, oh, you're the best. We want you. It was more of like, oh, you're good. You'd be good on the team.
Right, come off the bench.
Exactly.
Come off the bench. But racing, that's something that you not only you're good at then and you're good at now, but your future is bright because I know when your mom was saying about teams calling you and wanting you to race and stuff, for that to happen, there has to be something very exceptional about you. And not only with your skill level, but I give your parents credit that they've prepared you mentally for all the other aspects of being a leader, a champion, a winner. Because a lot of times people, like I said earlier, they're so involved in what their kids doing. Because I know when I went to school, I had people who are good in sports, and for the most part, they ran the house because their parents were thinking, oh, they're gonna get a contract, and you get all these people, oh, he's in the fourth grade, and one day he's gonna be a #1 draft pick, and this and that, and so everybody's whatever he wants, they're just bowing to him and all this stuff, and then later it happens or it doesn't happen, but in the meantime, all the training that they got beforehand, it made them be just what they end up being. Like a lot of time people say about somebody, oh, they're this, they're that, all negative, because from the time they were 4 years old, everybody's telling them how great they are, and everybody's just trying to suck up to them, so when the time happens, they can get the money from them, and it makes them a really, really bad person. So even though you may make it and become the champion of the world, 75% of people, they don't like you. They'll be around you to suck the money out of you, but they don't actually like you because of the way you are. But something like this is not going to happen to you. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side of this break, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the finances of it. And who's the financial expert here?
Mom.
Mom. All right. This is E-Factor Radio Show. I'm your host, Cornelius Bryant.
I'm Julie Adams.
Troy Adams.
Kara Adams.
We'll be back.
I remember when she captured my heart. I knew she had me right from the start. I remember when she captured my heart. I knew she had me right from the start. From the first moment I saw her face, I felt the love bug headed my way. She was a statue just standing there, a beautiful woman with long curly hair. She looked so sweet and precious to me. I told myself this couldn't be. It was right then she captured my heart. I knew I loved her right from the start. I remember when she captured right from the start. She captured my heart. She had me. She took my heart away like I never knew she would. But it might have been my day, 'cause I was feeling good. Oh yeah. When she captured my heart. I remember when she captured my heart. I could just see her standing alone. This was my chance that could not be blown. I could not sit there and let her go. This was
All right. Welcome back to the E-Factor Radio Show. I'm your host, Cornelius Brown, with my special guest, the Adams family. Okay, so earlier, when you were talking about the financial part of it, I mean, we're talking about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And how much money is this costing to get in these races?
So I would say between 8 and 10 years old, the typical family might spend $100 to $250,000 a year for their child to race go-karts, and it just keeps going up from there. And so what we see for us with truly moving into cars is it's actually pretty similar, where you can race for a team for about $300,000, but then once you put in all of the travel, the testing, which for us means practice, we get to close to $750,000 to $1 million a year. And so truly, like, we've had to always have partners. We've had to have sponsors that help us to generate those resources. And so at a very young age, when Truly was maybe 10 years old, we had him calling sponsors, and he was responsible for raising 50% of his racing budget. And then we would match whatever he could raise. And so we were racing on probably $60,000, $70,000, but he's really had to learn how to talk to adults, how to have money conversations. And so for us, that's what it looks like. And we're constantly looking for partners, ones that make sense for kind of his trajectory, for what we believe in our moral status, kind of where we are, where we stand. And so that's kind of where we are for raising money and trying to create opportunities, not just for Truly, but also for kids that are coming up behind Truly.
Right, and that's good to say for kids that's coming up behind him, because in my opinion, you're a trailblazer. 15 years driving around with no license, 150 miles an hour, but it's in a legal way because you're on the track. But that simple fact that you're doing that's unbelievable. And so, like you were saying, because at first I thought you was going to say $250, but then you added thousands behind it. I'm like, $250, that's not bad. Then I heard thousands, like thousands. So that's a lot of money. And then you call the people yourself, some of the sponsors, and get them to spend the money to sponsor you. And so, just for an example, I mean, if it's okay with your parents, because we got to stay within a certain limit. Let's just say if I was someone you went to talk to for sponsoring, give me some of your lingo. Give me some of what you would say.
But yeah, most of it is more or less, I call my sponsor, and I'm like, let's say I'm running Formula 4 this year, and I need
Okay.
sponsors for my next 2 races. It's more or less, let's say, hey, I'm running the FFSA race at Paul Ricard in a couple weeks, and I really need some help funding for this race. And I've been doing really good in the States, but also, I actually ran third in this series, last year at one of their starting rounds. So we've been doing really good, and we're just looking for sponsorship and funding to come out and hopefully do very well. And most of it is, we just kind of talk through how it would help them, but also help me, and what we could do with you. Brand partnership or B2B, which is business to business wise, is just, how does me, but also Adams Motorsports Park help with your business, and see how we can connect those two things.
Well, that's good. See, that's a business mind and a business sense at an early age, because that's important. Because a lot of time, people they get into these different businesses or these different operations, and then 10 years later you hear, "Oh, I'm broke." How are you broke? You made $65 million. Oh, because my business partner, or whoever's in charge of my money, they took all my money and spent it or whatever. So that's good that they're teaching you the business side of it. That way you can help do your own finances and keep an eye on your finances. But speaking of that, just like with school, so where do you go to school? Because if you're already going to these different countries and everything, how do you go to school?
So yeah, I'm fully online. So I do an online program, and it's pretty good. My teachers are amazing. They help me a lot with even if I'm a little tardy on my homework, they don't do anything against me because they know I'm traveling a lot, and they know I'm traveling all over the world doing what I love. So they're very, very nice. I did charter school for a little bit, which is amazing. I did it with half working out in the morning, and then I do classwork in the afternoon. So I kind of balance those two out. We just chose to go fully online because these next couple of years I either be living in Europe or just be there for half the year and then coming back. So
Wow. So what's your favorite subject?
I started off, my favorite subject is math
Ah.
when I was in elementary school. And then I started learning that math is hard. So I decided math is not my favorite subject, and physical education is.
Oh, well, I tell you
Oh, so
what.
you like that PE?
Yep.
PE. Well, you're doing for good for the physical part that it looks like to me. But see, math is really important because you need to make sure you stay with math. You don't have to have it as your favorite, but stay with it because see, math is how you count them dollars and figure out where all that money's going and where it's coming in and going. Because you can have $50 million coming in, but if you got $54 million going out, you still in a bad situation.
The Spanish is not your
No.
you fluent in Spanish.
Yeah, I know. And I'm good at math. I know like 1 million plus 2 million is 3 million, so I should be good.
Right. And a million on top of million is even better.
Yep, exactly.
So you know what? Your dad said you're good at Spanish. ¿Para qué no necesita?
No, it's more or less. It's more or less. I understand.
No habla en español.
No, gracias. I understand.
No, habla español.
I understand Spanish pretty well. I started learning Spanish in TK, And then I still do it now, but I've been honors Spanish for about 3 years, 4 years now. So,
Okay, all right.
So
good.
I learned my whole starting. Went out to Spain. Lived in Mexico for about a year or two.
Wow.
Then went out to
Practice
Spain.
that.
Pero no habla español.
I don't
Habla-
understand people's Spanish that aren't good. So
Oh, you need real Spanish.
Yeah, it's hard
You don't
for me to
understand
understand.
that off the wall.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You know what? But you said something interesting earlier. You're traveling here, you're traveling there, and so matter of fact, you're getting ready to travel somewhere pretty soon, right?
Yes.
Where?
So I'm going to France in 3 days. I leave Monday night.
You leave Monday night. Okay. So wow. And 15, not only driving but traveling the world too. I mean, that sounds like an exciting life. It sounds almost unreal. You know, it reminds me of that TV show when a little kid they were driving race cars online, then they got them to drive in real life, and they showed them driving in real life. And people like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So now you're leaving for France on Monday.
Yeah.
All right. So, parents, when we're talking about him leaving for France, who's going with him?
We're both going.
Yeah, this
You're
time
both
we're both
going?
going.
Yeah.
Usually they travel a lot themselves, though.
Okay.
Yeah. But this time, this particular race, we're definitely all three are going. And the hardest thing, I will say, though, a lot of people think like, oh my gosh, you guys get a chance. You're going to France. That's amazing. You're going to have a lot of fun. Really, it's work.
Right.
Like, we're going there for one thing, and that's to go to win, right? So it's not seeing Paris, doing touristy thing. It's literally getting off the plane, go to the hotel, check in. He goes to train, back to the hotel. We go race, do the things we have to do, and then fly back home. So a lot of times it seems like it's just this incredible life, which it is, and we are blessed to do it, and he's blessed to do it. But it's actually a ton of work as well, for Truly especially. Both all of us, but Truly especially.
Right. So we're talking about the cost, and I know you said somewhere between 600 and 700,000, right? And you talked about the sponsors. So what we want to ask, we want to give you this opportunity to let people know, because I'm sure when people hear this, they're going to be like, "Wow, that's exciting," and you get a chance to help out a young man and someone who's doing something this time that's worthwhile, instead of you're wasting your money on these GoFundMes for all this stuff that makes no sense. I mean, so Cara, tell us, how can someone contact you or reach out to you and
Yes.
Troy in order to help out with the funds?
Yes, I think the easiest way is to go to Truly's website, which is trulythetruth.com, and you'll see a donate, or you can go trulythetruth.com/donate. And you'll see everything that we're up to. You see what the funds get used for. That's probably the easiest way. You can also contact him or DM him on social media, on his Instagram, which is truly_the truth. Because we're always communicating with fans, donors, sponsors, kind of all of that stuff. And we'd be really amiss if we didn't really thank the sponsors that are helping us to get to France. We had two really big amazing sponsors through OSRX and also through Native Racing. Without them, it would have been almost impossible to go, because each race is almost $50,000. And so we have to really say thank you to the partners that have been with us, and the partners that support us. And whether it's $1, $100, $1,000, whatever it is, it's very appreciated. And whoever can give, that's kind of how we've gotten to as far as we've gotten. Because some people, they give $5 and they say like, well, does that go anywhere? And it absolutely does. We had someone on Truly's Instagram page say like, if we all gave $1, he would have $300,000. Like, and so just having a community that's behind Truly, a community that sees that every bit helps, every dollar helps. And ultimately, if we could get to an angel, investor or somebody who wanted to really be with him through his whole career, like that would be amazing as well. And we know that person is out there. We just have to get in front of them, and they have to have the passion that we have to, want to see someone from our community get to Formula One.
Okay, angels, put your listening ears on. You just heard that. But, because me, I'm older, and I know a lot of older people like me. So we're not too into the Instagram and Disagram and all this stuff. So is there a phone number they can reach you at? Like, if they just want to call you, oh, Cara, I heard this on the show, and, I really like to help, but I'm not computer savvy or social media
Yes.
savvy. Is there a phone number they can reach you at?
Yes, our business line is 951-250-3406, and that's the line that that goes directly to us that we monitor. So yes, for sure. And they can also email at kara@adamsmotorsportspark.com.
Okay, good. So what you said about our business and the motorsports park and all that stuff, that's where you really come in at, right, Troy?
Yeah.
And so you're also a trainer. She was saying you're a coach.
Yeah, so I've been coaching racing probably for the last 30 plus years.
Wow. Okay. So where do you coach at?
So my primary facility, again, is Adams Motorsports Park, but I've been blessed to be able to have drivers that are in NASCAR. So I've gone to all the NASCAR tracks. At what time I was with a young man, Cole Keats, who traveled all over the world in rallycross. So we did 8 different countries there. But it just depends on, where and who I'm with. There's a young man right now that's in Italy that's racing go-karts, Brody Brown, that I helped him kind of launch off to there and was able to travel with him to Italy before. So it really just depends on the need of the driver and where they want to go and what it takes to get them there.
Wow. So the Adams family has a lot of mileage on them, huh?
I don't know about that. I don't know about no mileage on
Well,
this,
I'm talking
but,
about flying mileage.
figure it out.
I ain't talking about.
You got to be careful
old
nowadays.
miles. Yeah,
You
you're
gotta
right.
be careful
You're right.
nowadays.
Because
Yeah.
people say mileage.
Yeah.
These people, especially social media.
Yeah, I don't got no
they-
mileage on me, and it ain't the Adams family
Yeah.
from back in the day.
Right,
Yeah.
right. They
Yeah.
go there. But for as flying goes,
Yes,
you
sir.
said a lot of times you go to Italy and you're off to France and you've been all across Europe already. So a lot of flying miles. And so when you're coaching, are you still Truly's coach?
So no, when we get to the track right now, currently, like when we get there, Patrick Lamarier and the whole feed program, I kind of take a step back and allow them to do what they do best. There are times when they'll come to me and ask, little things that they may need in order to get him mentally. I would say I'm more of his mental coach.
Okay.
I kind of know where he is. There's times when, we get in our head as athletes and need that, whether that's that love or that swift kick to remind him who we are and where we come from. I'm old school too, right? So I come from Riverside, Rubidoux. I was born and raised kind of in the hood. And at the end of the day, when you have those skill sets and when you are that dog, sometimes we got to be reminded that, you that guy and where we come from and what your last name is. And so to me, that's where I come in. But as far as on-track stuff, we've got a great team through Feed Racing in France, and they've done a phenomenal job with Truly. And so I step back and allow them to do what they do, and I'm able to be dad unless I need to step in.
Right. So this is to all three of you. Truly's racing. I mean, you're not like the dad, like when you have little league football or something like that, and the kids playing and the dad's in the stand yelling, going crazy, and he runs out on the field and start arguing with the coach and arguing with the kid. You doing it wrong. Oh, do this, do that.
Yeah. That's a question, really. I think, again, when I need to, but
Well,
Truly
you
answer
can't
that.
you can't really run on the racetrack. You
Okay,
can't-
okay. All right, so that's like a barrier keeping in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, but I think we kind of stay out of it, especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a coach, so
Right, that's
all
good.
of it is just staying. We haven't really had anything like that, but even if we did, it'd be pretty difficult to go yell at an official or yell at a driver when they're on the track. So
Oh, so you can't go in the track and kick dirt on his
no,
foot?
no.
Oh, okay, all right. And it's interesting because you started off with your dad coaching you. And like you said, you coach people right now. So let's say, for example, I'm a parent and I have money and, I'm trying to build my kids' self-esteem. I put them on a football field. It doesn't work out. Put them on a baseball field. It doesn't work out. Put them on a basketball court. It doesn't work out. And I say to myself, oh, little Johnny, there's nothing he can do. Hopefully he's be smart. At least he can be a nerd or a geek or something. But then here's racing. And I think, wow, maybe I could put him in racing because he loves to spew around the house with his little car and all that stuff. So if I want to get my kid into racing and have you as a coach, how do I contact you?
Yeah, actually through a lot of the same lines,
Okay.
but through either Troy Adams coaching.com, Instagram, Troy Adams Coaching. You can also call the facility at 951-686-3826 or the same hotline that we do with our business with Truly. So
Okay.
we have all of those lines.
Okay, and where are you located one more time?
Riverside, California.
Okay, so if I just go to the thing,
Adams Motorsports Park, look up Riverside, California. You won't miss us.
all right, see, that's for those people who don't know how to do nothing. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Adams Motorsports, Riverside, California, you won't miss it. Okay, we only have a few minutes left. So does anyone want to say anything? I'm going to turn the mics over to you and to you three. I'm going to let you say something before we close out.
I would like to say that Troy, he downplays how good of a coach he is. He's probably the best driver development coach in the world, and people fly from all over the world to work with him. And he's also got a really special gift for kids on the spectrum, and he's probably the only coach that works with drivers on the spectrum and getting them to feel confident in a motorized vehicle. And so, like, how I would tell Truly that he's destined for greatness, Troy is great, and he's an amazing coach and driver development person. So
Wow, that's good because people don't realize that the greatest people in the world have a coach, a mentor, somebody to look up to. I mean, people talk about how great Tiger Woods is and all that stuff, but even to this day, the greatest people, they'll have that person they call, hey, this or that. They ask them a question.
Yeah.
That person can give them tips. You know what it is? When you're shooting a free throw, you're turning your body too much at the release. Do this, do that. So he's in that category when it comes to racing. Well,
Yeah.
Troy,
What's up?
you know what? When you're good, you're good. When you're great, you're great. You know, you got to own that because see what people are doing. They're looking at Truly, and they're thinking he was just born with it. But like I said, he was born, but there's work involved. I mean, people make no mistakes. There's work involved. You're not just gonna go out there and do it. I don't care if it's in your blood or not. You still have to put forth work. And coaching is so important because I know years, even after people get out of coaching, they still call that coach because you develop a relationship with them and they're like, oh, you know, there's things that go on that I need to talk to somebody about pertaining to life, not necessarily racing, because you know every athlete except for LeBron has a limit to how long he can go. And so then after that, you know, you're doing stuff. You may say, you know what? For the last 20 years, all I've done is race and done this, and now I have to go to do real life.
Yeah.
You know, how do I do that? How do I function? How do I move forward in regular civilian type life?
Yeah.
And then I'll call you, well, can you help me? And so I think that's a good thing about a coach or a mentor, that beyond the career or beyond the fame, you know, you need somebody who can call, like you say, when you keep him grounded. So when you need to be grounded, they have this person they can call, and I'm sure you fit into that category.
Yeah, no, and again, to me, it's not hard to win. Like, winning's not hard. Being elite is not hard. I always tell my drivers or my other athletes, it's how much pain and suffering you want to put your mind and body through. You know, people are amazed about LeBron, but I'm not. I think, again, he's taking care of his body, he's taking care of his mind, and he's willing to put his mind and body through more pain and suffering than anybody else, and that's why he's been able to not just last and operate at a very high level, right? And it's no different between my kids that are on the spectrum with autism or any of the other kids. It's the bottom line is you have to be great. You have to focus. Everybody learns at a different level and pace. We as educators, we as coaches need to be patient. Give them love when they need to, but have that little bit of old school, or if they need a little spanking or a real conversation, that they need to be able to have that.
Because we don't spank them.
We don't spank them, but we verbally. I'm not an easy coach.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm gonna have a real conversation, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on, because I believe all of us are on a spectrum, and because of that discipline, that structure, and that mindset, most of my kids that I've had over a year, they've gone from wherever they are to winning. And I don't think it's about winning on track; it's about winning in life. And so we've been blessed to be able to do this for a long period of time. We've been blessed to have truly, successful in his deal, but also a ton of drivers and other athletes that have been successful. And I will say, for us, I'll quote kind of the late Trevor Mawad, it takes what it takes. At the end of the day, there's people think we have a choice in order to be elite. There's no choice. That's an illusion of choice. You have to do what it takes, and if you do what it takes and take your mind through pain and suffering, there's rewards at the other side.
Great advice. You know what? You're off to France, but I do have a request. When you come back from France, once you've gotten rested up, can you do us a favor? Can you take pictures? So I want you to come back on the show. Then we're going to have it ready so we can have like a slideshow. That way you can explain the pictures and go over what happened in France.
All right.
Yeah,
Is
that sounds
that
fun.
okay? Is that okay with you, Truly?
I'm good. I'm always okay.
We can show that podium space.
Yep, and then go play some golf.
All right, yeah. Oh, speaking of golf, Truly golfs all around the world. He's 15 years old. He golfs in France, Europe. Where else?
I've only played golf in Europe and in the States, but luckily, I get dressed up in some TM golf stuff, and it's so hot right now that their athletic wear is amazing and it's breathable. So golfing in 110 degrees is different.
All right. We'll get some more stories about that. But that's it. We're at the end. But like you heard it yourself, they're going to be back. After their trip to France, we're going to have the Adams family come back on and give us some France insights.
Yep.
So when you're doing it, when you get there, because I asked them a question, I go, when you get there, is there like people are waiting with cameras and everything? When you get off the plane, they're all, Troy, Truly, Kara, Truly. But he said no.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, okay. All right. But you just when you get off, you guys just do some little
We document
tidbits.
all the time.
All right. Okay, well, this has been a great show. Thank you, Truly. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Kira. Thank you, world, family, and friends, for watching. This is the E Factor Radio Show. We'll be back with the Adams family when they get back from France. Everybody have a good day. Goodbye.
You did it again. You picked me up when I was gone. You stayed with me.
Allow us to tell you it's plain, it's simple. Rosie, we want to say thanks. With an American spirit, we want you to hear it. In unity, we want to say thanks.